Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm getting ready to set up for the MB. I'm seeing some warm water species start to look like they're moving up the Baja Peninsula. We'll have more on yellowfin tuna. Also, we'll be watching Tanner and Cortez Bank, some great long range fishing. What about those white sea bass up there in the Channel Islands? There is so much going on. You know what time it is. Let's set it up for the MB and get to it right now.
Look at, there she goes. Look at Anna go. There's one boxer. Oh, you snagged him, but it's probably a keeper. Look at Anna go. Go, Anna, go. Look at this girl. Straight from Yellowstone. That's how they do it in Yellowstone. Ah, the girl. Double boxers. Nice.
Hey folks, hey everybody. So it's Jack Christopher Klein. If you don't follow me, if you don't know who I am, it's all right. I'm just a guy. If you do follow me, yeah, you saw I've done a lot of promotions for my film River of Grass, done a lot of red carpet events, publicity. It's been fun. It really has. It's nice getting dressed up, and it's nice pretending people actually want to hear what I have to say. So it's been great. I'm so proud of the film River of Grass. I'm so proud of everybody, all the cast and crew. Here is the transition from Hollywood to the red carpets to Angler. Okay, in 13 days, I am so excited. I'm going out fishing with Friedman Adventures on the Apollo boat, sport fishing boat here in Southern California. We're going out for bluefin tuna. We will be out at the Cortez Bank, the Tanner Bank. It's 100 miles off the coast. We will be sleeping on the boat. We will be fishing for 3 days. It is bluefin tuna or bust. That's the way I enjoy my life. So hopefully in the next few days, next week, after I'm back, you will see some footage of me catching some fish if I'm lucky enough. But thank you to the Friedman Adventure family, and thank you to the Apollo sport fishing boat. I'm going fishing from Hollywood to Angler. Let's do it.
Weather. Then we're going to switch over to the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California for another 2-day adventure. October 6th through the 8th should be another great trip. Tanner, Cortez Bank, and anywhere else the fish are. For the Amigo. Best weather months of the year, and hopefully lots of fish for you to catch. Good Saturday morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is a lovely morning, no question about it. Man, it's crazy around here in SoCal. We've gone from a heat wave to some drizzle here, and it's kind of cool on the beach this lovely morning. But man, we've got a lot to talk about, including some red hot fishing and perhaps some yellowfin tuna starting to move into the picture. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Royal Polaris. Hats off to Brian Barber and Mission Fish and all the great volunteers who took veterans fishing out of the Channel Islands yesterday. Beautiful stuff, my friends. Of course, we'll cover all the islands, the surf, and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, God, is that good? And is it good to be with you all? Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us. Once again, if you could hit that like button, deeply appreciated. Share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and click that little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Huge social media presence now. Almost 1 million views in the last month on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us on all those venues and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Really great to be with you all. I will be in Florida in October bringing you some Florida content. I am really looking forward to that. The Mullet Run. Hey, if you happen to be in Florida, send me a text and we'll get together while I'm there. I'm going to visit, of course, first and foremost, my grandson, and my son Patrick, and his lovely wife Kayla, and everybody else in beautiful Florida. But also, Patrick and I are going to go do some fishing, including the mullet run. I'm really looking forward to that. More on that as we move into Florida. But 657-227-6459 to all our Florida friends. We'll see you there shortly. All right, let's get into it because there's so much to talk about. I mean, there is really a lot of signal and sign that yellowfin tuna starting to slowly but surely make its presence felt south of San Diego. We'll see if that could be a reality here very, very soon. First of all, Cabo San Lucas, we had Tropical Storm Yeana go through there, and it dropped about 4 to 6 inches of rain. That's Rudy Morgan driving around in there. Of course, Rudy, a lot of you know him. His dad, Sean Morgan, ran boats here in Southern California for many, many years. He also ran Big Fish Bait and Tackle down there in Seal Beach, California, one of our great sponsors. So Rudy driving through that mess down there. Doesn't look too bad. The highest winds they got down there, about 40, 45 miles an hour. So not bad at all. They're all over that right now. So hopefully we're moving ahead. Down in Ensenada, check out those dolphin on the way out for Sammy Susure as he's leaving the Malecon there in beautiful Ensenada and headed offshore. Once again, there has been a little bit of bluefin tuna offshore, but not much. Picking at some more yellowfin tuna. We've been telling you that. No huge numbers, but a yellowfin here and there. We'll have more on that in one more second here. But we're starting to see that YFT, that warm water species. A few skipjack mixed with it. The kind of stuff you see when you get into the fall and you start to get warmer water, and that warm water stuff starts to move up the Baja Peninsula and ultimately could push in here to Southern California. It is not the real deal quite yet. And the offshore scene in Ensenada has been tough lately, and it remains that way. But perhaps a glimmer of things to come. There still are some yellowtail buzzing around inside the bay there. You get to a weekend like today, however, and you get way more boat pressure in Ensenada, and it's tougher to come up with a hit on those yellowtail. But you zoom around, you do that run and gun type of fishing, you throw a surface iron on those yellows, you wind on it and hope to get a bite, and that can occur on a regular basis. But once again, it's been mostly rockfish in Ensenada here recently. There's still a chance for a calico bass, sand bass, a barracuda flurry, some bonito, but mostly the rockfish right now. We'll keep our eyes on beautiful Ensenada. There's not a thing wrong with that. Let's bounce you up now to San Diego. And of course, well, I should say landings from San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands, because they can all reach Tanner and Cortez Bank, where the weather is gorgeous. There's a slight breeze out there this morning, and guys are picking at the bluefin tuna. Last night on the Tribute, they also picked at some nice grade bluefin tuna, no question about it. They were nice fat ones, fish up there over 100 pounds sometimes on that nighttime bite. It is far, however, from wide open at night, and far from wide open even during the daytime. It's kind of a scratchy, picky bite. And man, I guess the word got out about the weather going to be so nice through at least tomorrow. And then, well, we'll talk about that also here in a second, but it's going to be nice weather. The memo got out there because, man, there was a lot of boats crawling all over the bank yesterday. The El Dorado was out there bouncing around. Paul Fanning, he was on board. He's from California Saltwater Fishing on YouTube. You can check out his excellent work there. He was on board the El Dorado. They had 17 bluefin and a couple of yellowtail. Said there was a lot of boats out there, and it was very scratchy fishing. So once again, we're on that for you. Now Max is on the Highliner out of San Diego. They're starting to pick some fish out there right now, not wide open. It's early here on Saturday morning. We'll see how that all plays out as we go along. The Freedom 35 guys out of 22nd Street. What's wrong with 40 bluefin tuna? That's a nice little hit. So out there in this bite right now, you, of course, have got to get really, really tough. And sometimes that means dropping down to 25-pound fluorocarbon. You don't want to drop down too light because these fish have teeth, they pull hard, and the longer you're on them, the more chances you have to lose them. So fish as heavy as you can get away with, and you'll use your observational skills, looking around, watching other anglers, seeing what they're getting bent on. For sure, smaller hooks. Paul said on the Eldorado number 4 size hook and dropping the fluorocarbon down. And of course, choosing a good hot bait. It's a long soak sometimes, leaving your bait out there for a prolonged period of time. Other times you're changing your bait just regularly. Again, watch what is going on. Talk to your crew members. Get informed here on the morning briefing, and then go out there and catch more than everyone else. You know, when my brother and I were in our heyday, Paul and I would go to San Diego. If we didn't catch 3 fish over the average, we felt bad. So if everybody on board had 1 albacore or 1 bluefin or 1 blue perch, we should have 3. That's the way we felt. And that is something to strive for. And you'll do that by using your observational skills and getting up on knowledge. And that's what the morning briefing was made for. So kind of scratchy little bite going on out there right now. We'll see if that's going to kick into gear. Now, we mentioned the weather. It's very nice right now, but it looks like we've got a windy week ahead. Will it be unfishable? I don't think so, but it'll be a little bit on the snotty side. There may be periods where it gets really windy out there, but starting Monday afternoon and then pushing through the week, and that's a little too far, but for sure Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we might be able to throw in there as being breezier. It's definitely not going to be the ocean that we have here this morning or tomorrow for that matter. It's going to be another lovely day on Sunday. So we'll keep our eyes on that Tanner Cortez Bank and see how we go from here. Unfiled taxes, give Tim Marquez a call right now. He's standing by waiting for you. 35 years he's been doing taxes and heating and or air conditioning needs. John Lopez was on the El Patron yesterday out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. You can give him a call right now, and John will be right out to you, just like he was for Sam De La Torre over there at Island Fishing Tackle. All right, it is time to talk a little bit about what's going on with the islands. We'll start at the Coronado Islands, where fishing is a little more hit and miss right now. And of course, now we're on the weekend, and the boat pressure on the island is just incredible this morning. There's a lot of boats crawling all over the Coronado Islands, Middle Ground, South Island, North Island, the whole region down to the Pile. It's pretty crowded here this morning. Private boaters are scratching out some nice yellowtail. There's some nice forkies being taken down there in that neck of the woods, but a lot of boats, and it has not been as good as it once was. Now on the sport boats, they've had a much scratchier bite at the Coronado Islands, and I surmise that may well continue with all this boat pressure. We'll have to wait and see. We'll watch it for you very, very closely, but hopefully that's going to get going and head in the right direction. Now, the Grande had 5 yellowtail out there. The Mission Belle had 8 yellowtail. Both boats with some rockfish, stuff like that, some, lings, calico bass, barracuda, a little bit of that stuff mixed up with it. But I know all of you are pretty much focused on that yellowtail there at the islands. Now, there has been some bluefin tuna mixed up with it. We're watching that for you very, very closely, and we'll continue to do that. And hopefully we'll see some of that bluefin that's off the island, offshore. You'll find some schools of the stuff up frothing and boiling and teasing right now. And then you'll find some fish while you're on the anchor in 70 feet of water mixed with the yellowtail. Now, they're few and far between, but there has been a little bit of that going on. Now, we referenced to you that there's a little bit more yellowfin tuna starting to show up for the San Diego-based boats. And I mean a little bit. But man, maybe it's something to build on. Maybe it's a signal and a sign of things to come. And that would be nice to have them join the party. Some yellowfin, maybe even some dorado. We'll have to wait and see on that and see where we go from here. Liberty, 9 yellowfin tuna, not bad. Sphere of Adventure, the Sea Adventure, on a day and a half trip, had a couple skipjack, a couple yellowfin tuna. There were some yachts that had some yellowfin tuna. There were some other guys that had some yellowfin tuna, private boaters that had some YFT, and they've been scratching at it down there in Ensenada. Nothing to write home about, but something we've got our eyeball on. That skipjack, warm water species, that yellowfin, warm water species. Perhaps we'll get that push now of that subtropical, tropical type fish moving in. For right now, it's just something to keep our eye on, and we'll be doing that. Hey, my friend Pete Gray, and Let's Talk Hookup, the radio show celebrating 33 years wow, with all the great people he's had on that show, there isn't a show that has run longer and more consistently than Pete Gray here in Southern California. Pete, way to go, my friend. That is awesome. Happy 33 years. Wishing you another 33 years as you push ahead. All right, so we're watching all that for you very, very closely. Don't forget, Kids Fish Free tomorrow on the Island Spirit up there at Ventura Sport Fishing. Any kid 12 years and under with a paid adult goes for free. What are you waiting for? VenturaSportFishing.com or give them a call at 805 676 3474. All right, let's talk about what is going on now on our coastal. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm supposed to cover the islands. I'm losing it. San Clemente Island. Let's go out to Clemente where some guys continue to pick an occasional sea bass here and there. Been a while since we've seen that big limit style white sea bass type bite. We might see that in this week to come. Some guys are going to be hiding out from the weather for sure. And again, you can make some squid there, not every day, but you can make some squid there and use that to drop or loop fish with for an occasional sea bass and occasional big yellowtail during the daytime. Some good calico bass fishing and also some yellowtail on a fly line sardine. That is also possible. Catalina Island, kind of hit and miss, a little bit slower yesterday on the El Patron. Hopefully that's going to kick back into gear. Just a little bass and, occasional whitefish, some bonita. The gale force yesterday, they ended up with a halfway decent catch. They had a yellowtail for 16 anglers on board there, 32 calico bass, 50 bonita. They released an additional 30 calico bass, so not too bad. Don't forget, the El Patron is headed to Catalina Island on a regular basis. And you can go Monday through Thursday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. for $100. Fridays, $110. And then the weekend, $135. Man, if you can go during the week and save some money, cut down on the size of the crowd, and the lack of boat pressure during the week definitely helps. www.longbeachsportfishing.org, or you can also give them a call. As you can see the number right there. All right, my friends, get on the El Patron up there in the Channel Islands. We continue to see mostly rockfish, but there's a little bit of sea bass occasionally mixed in there. In fact, a couple days ago, the Aloha Spirit and the Gray Light combined for nearly 30 white sea bass. There's still some of that around. Nice weather up there, and Daniel Hadaway and the Island Spirit are out there doing their thing, catching some rockfish tomorrow. Kids Fish Free. Don't forget that. I got to take my hat off one more time to Brian Barber and Mission Fish, because they took a bunch of wonderful veterans out yesterday and treated them to a wonderful day on the water. Kevin Brannon, another great human being. He was out there doing his thing with all of those veterans, and that is a beautiful thing to see. Adrian Arcadia. Adrian, I got to say, when somebody puts a post up like you did and says, I want to thank Brian and guys like that, Mission Fish, for giving me the opportunity, Adrian said, to go out and help these guys. That is an exceptional human being. Adrian, nice going out there doing some really fine work, and I am so proud of all of you who made that happen. Once again, up there in that neck of the woods, we are seeing a lot of rockfish, occasional calico bass. Saw, an occasional nice big halibut up there. The Aloha Spirit had a couple of white sea bass. 43 calico bass yesterday. The Coral Sea up there out of Santa Barbara had 20 fish bag limits with limits of rockfish, limits of whitefish. Nice fishing for them. The Cobra back down to Channel Islands with a couple of halibut. Not a darn thing wrong with that. Lovely Martha Sport Fishing, San Francisco area. 13 guys, 26 striped bass for limits on the stripers, 18 halibut. Some great fishing going on up there offshore when you have decent weather. The albacore have been doing their thing. Speaking of great weather, 80 miles from Morro Bay this morning. Beautiful weather and a nice temperature break out there. There's got to be some albacore. I hope a private boater or somebody's out there trolling around here this morning. Hope you get a jig strike if you are indeed out there. How about the Ocean Explorer? I love this guy, man. Who is this guy? This is in New Jersey, but the guy is great. A lot of fun. He's got I think that's flounder fishing they're doing. I'm woefully ignorant on the fishery on the East Coast. I'll have to get tuned up. I'd like to go fish with this guy, man. It looks like fun. Ocean Explorer, having a lot of fun there on the East Coast. All right, my friends. Now we are also doing our used tackle drive. Don't forget about that. Long range fishing information next, and it's good. We are doing a used tackle drive where you can take your used tackle to a local tackle store and drop it off, and then Diego Nuno and yours truly are going to get it to Cedros Island, to the kids on Cedros Island. It is a worthy cause. Tackle Express in Santa Clarita have joined the party. Thanks to Eddie and Bella Berrigan. Thank you for making that happen. And thanks to all the wonderful people at Tackle Express. You can also drop that tackle off at Hook, Line, and Sinker in Santa Barbara. Eric's Tackle, Ventura in Ventura. Also Ventura Sport Fishing. Also down here at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, Big Fish Bait and Tackle here in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. And in Bellflower, our friends at Young's Fishing Tackle. I hope I didn't leave somebody out. Really appreciate it. Jeff Yeomans from the 540 Slingers Club just dropped off some stuff at 22nd Street Landing. Deeply appreciated. It'll go to the kids on Cedros Island. Thank you all for making that happen, as we deeply appreciate it. All right, it is time now to talk long range, because the long range scene has been absolutely outstanding. The wahoo bite's been great down there around the rocks. The yellowfin tuna bite has been off the hook and remains that way. And the Royal Polaris is just starting to move up on the Tanner Cortez Bank area after finishing up a magnificent 8-day trip, I think they are on. They have had great fishing on wahoo, on yellowfin tuna, and they went into the Baja Coast and they caught some big, fat yellowtail. I mean, these are gorgeous yellows, eating the surface iron, eating a fly line bait, even a little sliding egg sinker worked really well. Superior grade of yellowtail. It just gets better and better on the long range scene. I mean, you go down there and you catch that who, and you catch that yellowfin, and then you catch a yellowtail, and then you're coming home and more of the same, but the quality's been great. There's been some hits on white sea bass for the long range boys on the way home. It's been spectacular. And I'm talking all of those guys, they have been doing great. Don't forget, 5-day trip on the Independence with Friedman Adventures next April. You'd be silly to miss that one. That's going to be a lot of fun on the big, beautiful, spacious Independence out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. I'll see you next April on that great trip. All right, long range, sizzle, really, really great fishing. Doesn't want to slow down one bit at all. Don't forget, I can also save you 10% if you're going to lobster hoop netting. You need some gear. Go to promarahi.com, put in FA at checkout, save 10%. Let's talk about our local situation, because it is still rocking and rolling in San Diego, whether it's sand bass or calico bass, occasional yellowtail. I don't know how that bite could have been more consistent and continues to be great than it has this year. It has been a spectacular year down there in that area. The New Seaforth, the Dolphin, the Premier, that's just to name a few of the guys down there. They had great sand bass fishing yesterday. Some of the guys focused on calico bass. It just has been spectacular fishing. The Dolphin also had a couple of yellowtail yesterday. They catch and release a lot of calico bass. They keep a lot of keepers. There's been some great sand bass fishing. It has been flat as good as you could possibly want it down there. Moving up the coast, Western Pride's been doing a great job out of Davies Lock in Newport Beach. They had a yellowtail yesterday, half-day fishing, good calico bass fishing. The Dana Pride out of Dana War Sport Fishing with some good sand bass fishing yesterday. Pretty darn good stuff up here in this neck of the woods. We continue to see mostly sculpin and whitefish. I'm talking Long Beach and San Pedro. I know you're coming to us from around the world, so if you're not familiar with the geography, I'm talking Long Beach, San Pedro. What a beautiful morning this is. Wow, is that gorgeous? Or what? Perfect surf fishing day here today. Somebody should get down here. Dan Lightfoot, get off that couch and get your butt down here. So mostly that. Up there in the Santa Monica Bay, there's been a little bit more bonita, occasional yellowtail for the Redondo Special, and some better bass fishing. Out of Marina del Rey Sport Fishing, our dear friend Nick Ramirez was on board the Spitfire yesterday. He said the bonita were micro bonitos. I mean, little guys eating a Colt Sniper for Nick. Also, some calico bass, trying to get him to eat that big sardine. It was a little bit of a hassle, but as usual, Nick Ramirez had a great day out on the water. He kept a calico bass and 3 bonita, and then all the rest of the fish he caught, he gave to others who were having a little bit more difficulty. That's what makes Nick an outstanding Friedman Adventures family member. Nice going, Nick. Can't beat that one bit at all. And then up there in the Channel Islands, as we mentioned, mostly rockfish going on there. In the surf, let's talk about it right now because this is a perfect day to be catching some corbina in this short water. Wow, just absolutely perfect conditions. Throw out past that wave that's breaking right now with a chrome crocodile, and you might catch a yellowfin croaker or 2, or even a halibut. You can fish Lucky Craft and try to pick off a halibut. Win the Big Fish Bait and Tackle monthly drawing. This month, the largest halibut will win a free custom surf fishing rod. It's gorgeous. Down around Bolsa Chica and Huntington Beach, more corbina down there in that neck of the woods. Jojo Calvo fishing around Dana Point with a nice spot fin croaker and corbina. Nice going, Jojo, hitting the surf and enjoying this beautiful ocean that we have here again this morning. It's beautiful up there in the Santa Monica Bay. More corbina up there around the jetty. I'm talking about the Topaz Rock Jetty, and then right there next to the pier, they're picking out some corbina here this morning. There's been some small perch also mixed in here. It's time for that spot fin croaker to start biting. Again, they don't bite artificials that well at all. They want to fish bait, like worms work really well. A long cast right here or down there by the water tower on Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway, fishing bait, worms, sand crabs, something like that. That should yield a spot fin croaker or 2, and that might get better as we push into the fall. We'll be watching that for you very, very closely. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you other than it is really a gorgeous morning here in Surfside, California. We're going to be watching that yellowfin tuna to see if that is the real deal or it's more of the same, just a little bit of fish. We'll watch Tanner Cortez where things have slowed down. It is Scratcher with gorgeous weather. We'll see if that bounces back and starts to bite with a little more ferocity here today. And of course, we'll watch all this local and everything else and keep you in mind as we do. Have a great Saturday. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.